I want to start off the video by saying this is my opinion. I don't represent the NRA. I wouldn't even say I represent, I don't know if it goes as far as representing the black community. But I only represent myself, and this is my opinions and my opinions only. If you agree or disagree, you can comment below why. But I'm not trying to go and pretend as if I am the spokesperson for everyone. But I think I can give a genuine, unbiased assessment as to the NRA and the black community. So with the Philando Castile shooting, right, the NRA has been getting a lot of slack about not publicly saying anything, and I've seen a lot of black people in the community outright saying, you know, to boycott the NRA and to do this and that, and the NRA has never been for the black people. And then you had the video by Colin Noir, which was it was interesting, and then so I wanted to comment on my opinions myself as to what I think about the whole situation. Alright, so first and foremost, right, I always tell people this: you have to understand the goal of the NRA. The goal of the NRA is to protect the Second Amendment and to grow the Second Amendment as well. So they protect the NRA. I mean, the NRA protects our constitutional right by obviously lobbying and fighting bills and stuff like that, and yada yada yada. We all know that they do that. They also provide student and instructor courses for people to get certified to apply for their license to carry, and to be certified to teach those courses to apply for their license to carry. So those are hard facts of what the NRA does for the Second Amendment. The next thing you gotta ask yourself is, does the NRA prohibit anyone, particularly black people or colored people? Do they prohibit, or do they make it, do they redline the community? Does the NRA redline the community from getting their certifications or becoming their instructor, becoming an instructor? Through my experience and my observations, I would say no. They don't go out of their way to go and screw people over, you know, colored folks or the community, and you know, they pretty much let anybody come and take their classes. I know a lot of instructors, I've worked with a lot of instructors, and I've never heard any students or instructors say, hey, you know, we don't, you know, teach black people or whatever, yada yada yada. So is the NRA intentionally trying to screw the black community or underrepresenting the black community? I would say no. I was watching a video by a popular individual, female individual, who said that the NRA doesn't care about you and took a shot at Colin Noir. I would have to agree with you on that. The NRA doesn't particularly care about the black community. They don't particularly care about any community. Their goal is to protect the Second Amendment right. So this is life, right? I always tell people life operates beyond your personal beliefs. So the NRA is not going to go and stick up for anybody in particular. They're only here to protect the Second Amendment. Now, let's talk about black people and the 2A. You guys predominantly vote, right? Black people, a lot of black people are Democrats, and they predominantly vote for politicians that are anti-gun. Now, I watched the video. Did I feel kind of offended? Yes, I did. I kind of felt offended by the video, and the lady was, you know, showed people rioting and stuff, and I think the underlying message was, you know, targeted to a specific group of individuals. But I tell people, can you be mad at them? Can you really be mad at them? A lot of black folk vote for politicians that are anti-gun. So as a result, you guys are directly conflicting with the Second Amendment. When you vote for someone that is anti-gun, you can't go back and turn around and say, yo, the NRA is anti-gun. Because the NRA has done more for the Second Amendment than for the Second Amendment in regards to the black community than most black people have done for themselves. So for the people that are boycotting the NRA and saying don't take their courses, destroy your membership and stuff like that, it's okay if you feel that way, but what's the solution are you providing? Because right now, like, I live in Boston. Boston is anti-gun as hell. We got Maura Healey, who freaking last year, July 20th, fucking banned all semi-automatic rifles and shotguns that they deem large capacity or assault weapons or yada yada yada, you know, the whole rhetoric behind that. So my question to you is, if you want black people to boycott the NRA because you think the NRA is racist, then what is the solution that you are providing for that gap that they fill? Because right now, the NRA is one of the very few organizations that offer classes that are nationwide, right? Their certificates are nationwide. You can go and move, and you can apply for a license to carry in, you know, various states using that certificate, and it's good for life. Only recently have we seen other companies like USCCA or SAFTD and all these organizations, only recently have they been popping up. So for me, right, the type of person I am, I like tangible, hard things that you can act on. So a lot of people, they protest on Facebook, they write comments, they do all this bullshit, and yada, yada, yada. Is it valuable work? Yes. But that is not the thing that I value the most. What I value the most in my life, and always have been, is creating physical opportunities for people to be successful, right? So while protesting and, you know, posting things on Facebook is valuable overall by challenging the culture and the mainstream media, at the end of the day, you got to give people resources and opportunities. So for me, the way I look at it is, if you tell the whole black community to not, you know, engage with the NRA, where are they going to get the tools and the resources to, you know, exercise their Second Amendment right? So nobody offers the NRA courses. Now people are stuck taking a basic mass firearm course, which doesn't cover as much things as the NRA curriculum covers. You know, is that benefiting the black community as a whole? My answer to that is no. I don't think that boycotting the NRA is the best solution for, you know, increasing the, you know, I guess a positive interaction or positive, you know, usage of firearms and law enforcement. And, you know, I'm going to do a separate video about the shooting itself, and I'll, you know, do a step-by-step analysis. But a lot of black people, a lot of times, talk about boycotting shit, not doing things, and they don't provide actual solutions to the problem. So I seen somebody wrote this a couple weeks ago, and they're like, and they wrote, this is one of my new favorite quotes are, did you come with the solution, or are you part of the problem? So one thing that I always challenge, you know, black people to do is ask yourself, what are you doing to better the community? And in specific reference to the NRA and the black community, what are you currently doing to help increase, you know, legal and safe usage of firearms in the black community? So if your answer, if you sit there and then you think about it and you realize that you haven't done shit, you haven't brought your friend to the range, you haven't gone and, you know, talk to someone or engage in people that are, you know, anti-gun, then you're part of the problem. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So I think the first thing black people need to do in general is to go and get educated, right? Get educated about firearms, get educated about your rights. Then you can go ahead and have enough base and solid, you know, foundation to go ahead and do something. So if you want a freaking gun company or non-profit organization that specifically targets the black community, go ahead and start one. Why are you bitching and complaining and always begging the white man, you know, the white man, you know, for favors and treating you better, yo? Like, come on, black people. If you don't like the system that you're in, if you don't like the organization that you're in, then go start your own. Go start your own, and then specifically target the black community and provide a gap, provide a solution for that gap that you're, you know, telling black people to take. And stop voting for politicians that are anti-gun. How many Democrats, like, I gotta go look up the stats on this, but how many black people are Democrats and vote Democrat? And that politician you're voting is anti-gun. If you voted for a politician, if you voted for Hillary, if you voted for, anybody that is hardcore anti-gun, then you have no right to be talking about the NRA. Point blank. Because you are part of the problem of voting freaking anti-gun. I know a lot of black people, and I know the black community as a whole wants to exercise their Second Amendment right. They value the ability to defend themselves, and they have the same ideals and goals that everybody else in the country does. So I don't think there's a lack of desire. I think there's a lack of initiative for people actually going out there. A lot of times I see people ask me basic questions, yo, how do I get my license to carry? How do I do this? How old do I have to be? Motherfucker, it's 2017, bro. There's Google, bro. Google will answer 85% of your questions. Now, you could ask me a question about, I read online that it said that I need to take a safety course. What safety course do I need to take? That's a more logical answer. A lot of the problems that we have in the black community is due to a lack of initiative. Google, look up resources. Boston is full of resources. Boston is one of the biggest and best cities in the freaking world. We got the best hospitals, the best schools. But what do you notice everybody's doing? Everyone drives to Boston, right? Grabs all those opportunities, grab all those resources, then they go back out. They go back out to the burbs where they live. They live 45 minutes, an hour away. And while we, the people in the city, we cry about the city being whitewashed and people coming in and, building new properties and kicking out all the poor people and stuff out. And I'm like, what was y'all doing the last, 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Like, you guys got to get with the program. So, for all the people that say the NRA is racist, do I think the NRA is racist? No, I don't think the NRA is racist. Without the NRA, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So for me, when I wanted to get my license to carry, I Googled. I said, how do I get my license to carry? And then, a couple of years later, I wanted to become an instructor. So what did I do? I Googled and I asked, how do I become an instructor? What was the first thing that popped up? NRA certified instructor. I have certified dozens, if not hundreds, of black, colored folks in order to get their license to carry. Because of the NRA, I can give those certificates and literally, physically, and economically change the lives of black people in the community. I've helped a lot of black dudes get their license to carry, and then they turn around and then go get a new job at an armed security gig, making more money. That's a real, tangible, hard, thing you can touch, and that changes people's lives. Y'all complaining about a lot of stuff that, unfortunately, is really in your control. So, can there people be in the NRA be racist? Sure. There are racists everywhere in every community, in every organization. Name me an organization where there aren't racists in there. But does that mean that those few individuals represent the entire community? No, right? We make that argument all the time, right? Oh, a couple of black people shoot each other and somehow we all get stigmatized and we all get the, thing, that we're evil and bad black people, whatever, yada, yada. Same thing for the NRA. Now, you can make the argument that it's more than a few bad apples, or the leadership should be in charge of, how their brand and organization is represented. I'll take that argument. You can make that argument, but you can't be at the NRA and say that they're racist and they're standing up for the black community and black owners' gun rights when you guys don't even stand up for the black owners' gun rights. So for me, I say, do what's within your power. So what's within your power is getting people educated, bringing a friend to the range, making them go take a class, and NRA has an awesome curriculum for that. They are a tool. If anything, use them as a tool to get to where you want to be. So if you're not interested in making a personal or intimate relationship with the organization, you can't deny the undeniable fact that they help a lot of people get their license to carry. And that is the bottom line. Name me a black organization who has done more for the black community in regards to the 2A than the NRA. And Cologne Noir stated that as well, saying that, saying pretty much the same sentiments. So, do I agree with everything that he said? No. But I do think he made some valid points. So, if you're not providing a solution for, black people to get to where you want them to be, in regards to the 2A, then you're part of the problem. So you got to ask yourself, you got to ask your friend, what are you guys doing to benefit the black community? So, I think that's all I have to say about the NRA and the black community. I did feel like the video was kind of fucked up, and it did make me feel some type of way about that. But that's life, yo. You can sit there and complain, or you can do something within your own community. And one last thing I want to touch about. I'm glad I remembered this whole thing about separation, right? So a couple decades ago, we had separate but equal. One of the things that black people always say is that, yo, why don't we just break away, fuck them, do your own thing, yada yada yada. Well, I agree with the idea that black people need to own things, right? Have more ownership and do things within their community. I don't think completely separating from others who disagree with your opinion is the best thing. How do you stop a country or a world or a system from being racist, right? How do you end racism? How do you end oppression and people being treated differently? You have to engage with people that don't agree with you. You have to engage on the other side. So, and then it's not even black people that do that. It's the same thing. Republicans, Democrats, all these people, they're like, oh, liberals are anti-gun, fuck them, da-da-da-da-da-da. How are you going to change these people from being anti-gun to being more understanding about the Second Amendment? The only way to do that is by engaging with people who don't agree with you. So one of my friends, a couple weeks ago, I was at his cookout on July 4th, and then we got in a huge heated argument about, people, me specifically, not standing up and, publicly denouncing the NRA or anything like that. So to address your concerns, I'm not going to denounce the NRA because I don't feel that it's the right thing to do. Now, can an organization improve? Yes. If you're asking me, do I think the NRA is perfect? No, I do not think the NRA is perfect. By all means, they are far from perfect. But do I think that they are racist? No. Do I think that they are outwardly or even covertly trying to prevent African Americans from taking their classes and getting their gun licenses and exercising the Second Amendment? My answer is no. I don't believe that. Without them, I wouldn't be here. I've made other black instructors, and if they didn't exist, how would I have accomplished that? How would I have been 24 years old and started my own firearm training company? The answer is I wouldn't have, because there are very few other resources where you can go out and do that type of stuff, other than military and law enforcement and like high tier security, like, civilian contracting, which often pull from the military and police pool. Where would you be able to do that? Where would you get that opportunity? So for me, it just doesn't make sense for me to cut off a supply source, that helps you get to where you want to be. So y'all gotta be smarter than that. Y'all gotta be, more tactful, right? So it's not a war. The best way to kill your enemy is to make him your friend. So, that's all I gotta say, man. It's like, a lot of people, they push the other people away. And then I say that to Republicans all the time, right? White conservatives all the time that, liberals are anti-gun, liberal tears and all that stuff. Like, you're pushing people away. and you're not talking to the crowd you need to. You're preaching to the choir. So for me, whenever I talk with someone anti-gun, I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to give them an opportunity to see something in a different light, in a different view. I'm never strictly, all one area. I don't believe in absolutes. Even my own opinion right now about the NRA and, where I stand, I'm willing to listen to other views and then question my own belief. If you don't question your own opinions, then how can you ever grow, right? So, we're so steadfast in being right all the time that we really need to ask ourselves, hey, how do I feel about this? Let me hear the other side. Let me talk to the other people. We need to engage the other people. You want to end racism? You think white people are out to get us or systematically doing this and that? You know who you need to talk to? You need to go talk to those white folks. Well, first you need to talk to your own brothers and sisters, but you need to talk to these white people instead of making things, separate. We've been through that separate but equal. It doesn't work. I don't want that. Ideally, I would like everybody to be on the same page. Are there extremists on both ends? Absolutely. They're extremists on both ends. Fuck them. You'll never change their opinion. You'll never change their mind. And they're not looking for solutions. They're only looking to complain, and they never provide a solution that is long-lasting and healthy for everyone. But all the people that are in the middle, I'm more than willing to go out and help them out. I won't chase after you. I'll help you and I'll provide you the opportunity, but it's up to you to take the initiative and do the legwork to meet me halfway. I'm not going more than halfway. I'm too tired. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough resources. I just can't do it. So, for all the black folk that don't like the NRA or giving them slack, what's your solution? And yeah, I forgot about that old lady, not old lady, but she was 30, 40 years old, that black lady that went and got crossed over state lines with the firearm. I think she was up from Maryland to New Jersey, and then the NRA backed her up on that one. Yo, what up, yo? My bad. Freaking, I lost connection, and, Facebook Live sucks. They need to work on that. But yeah, I just wanted to close out the video by saying, instead of complaining and boycotting, well, I don't even want to say complaining, because I think, the black community did bring up valid facts, so I think complaining implies a negative connotation. But, yeah, not only verbally protest, but take actionable, steps towards, creating that solution you want to see. For example, Maj Tour, he goes around and he travels the country and talks about, the Second Amendment and the African American community. That is a guy who has an opinion, and he doesn't only state his opinion, but he goes and he, takes action on that. Right or wrong, right? You gotta respect somebody for going out and taking action in what they believe in. So Maj Tour's thing is always about being solutionary, right? Providing solutions to the problem. And I think that's a mindset that, the black community can use more often, is, being solutionary to our problems. Freaking take action. Take physical action. Get off of Facebook, go out in the community, and do work. Are there a lot of people that I interact with in the gun community that I don't agree with their personal beliefs? Of course. I used to be a Democrat. Now I'm independent, but I grew up most of my life being Democrat. I disagree with a lot of stuff that the Republican side and, the conservative side say. They're great on the Second Amendment, but when it comes to other things, they're just awful. Like healthcare and abortion and all these things, yada yada. You don't have to agree 100% with someone to interact and work with them. My personal view is someone actively going out of their way to screw me over or screw my community over. If the answer is no, you're not actively going out of your way taking steps to screw us over, and it is just a matter of opinion, then I can work with that. Because I don't have to agree with you 100% to be able to work and teach people. I teach people with a whole lot of different beliefs than I do. But it doesn't define our relationship. If I can agree and work with someone on the Second Amendment, then I go ahead and do that. Because I know that interaction is going to produce something positive. We're going to establish a positive relationship, and then that can open the door if I want to have a conversation with healthcare. So we know, people generally fall into political categories and stuff, which I don't really agree with. But if you don't agree with someone on an issue about healthcare, whether it should be provided by the government or someone should pay outright, but you agree on the Second Amendment, then start from there. Start with what you have in common, and then you can talk about your differences. One thing that you'll notice is that when you start interacting with people that have different opinions than you, you'll find out that you have a lot more similarities than you have differences. And then you can use that opportunity to engage in a productive and respectful conversation about the way you guys feel or think about certain topics. But this whole thing about cutting ourselves out and not dealing with other people, it doesn't work. And that doesn't apply to just the black community. That applies to everyone. It doesn't work. We have to engage with people that disagree with us. We have to interact with, with people that don't value the same things that we do. And then you have to draw the line. At some point, you draw the line where what you can agree and what you can negotiate and not negotiate on. So for me, I don't negotiate the Second Amendment. If you're anti-gun, I really don't care what you got to say. You can have a nice day. Now, if you want to talk about the Second Amendment as a politician, then, I'll go out there and have a conversation with you. But if a politician is anti-gun, they're getting no time from you. And that's where you guys got to draw the line. Y'all want other people to come out and flat out support you guys, support us. I shouldn't say you guys as if I'm separate, but yeah, bro, you can't be doing anti-gun shit and then want an organization to come out and specifically, state things that will hurt the bottom line. And that is the fact. That is the reality. Is that if the NRA goes out and says something that is not in the benefit of all people in the Second Amendment, it will hurt their bottom line. And that goes for any company. That goes for all the people that go and, they take my class, but they don't want me to post any pictures and videos up on Facebook because they know that there are, consequences. Whether those consequences are right or wrong, whether people should have the courage to go out and stand up and say things, yeah, you can make that argument. But you can't be hurting them politically and then expecting them to also make themselves vulnerable politically, to freaking, stick their neck out for you. The world is not fair. Nobody cares about you. Don't expect anybody to care about you. Not the NRA, not any other organization, two-way related or not. Nobody cares. Nobody in this world owes you anything. So you shouldn't be expecting anyone to stick up for you. Stick up for yourself. Stick up for your community. You see your brother or sister, going through something, get up and help them out. Because that's within your control. There's a lot of shit beyond our control. There's a lot of things that are fucked up and that goes way back to those slave days that we're still suffering from today. A lot of those things are beyond our individual control. But the things that are within our individual control, we should be commanding them, mastering them. So that's all I gotta say to that. I don't know what else to tell anybody, but that's the end of my spiel. Be part of the solution, or you're part of the problem. If you don't know how to be part of the solution, if you don't want to start your own gun business or take your friend out to the range or freaking whatever, donate to SFT. Donate to SFT. We're gonna actually be starting a donation campaign at the end of next month And, you know, that's one way to contribute. If you don't have the time, you don't have the resources, money, or energy, but you can send $1 or $5 or $10, go ahead and do it. But if you're not actively doing and working, walking towards the problems, the solutions to our problems, then you're part of the problem. So next time that anti-gun politician asks for your vote, and they're probably Democrat, and they're probably going to pander and bring a bunch of your freaking black officials and high-head people, if they're anti-gun and you vote for them, you're part of the problem. Politicians work for us. We don't work for the politician. If the politician doesn't freaking reflect the ideals and values of your community, then they should not be voted. They should not be part of your representation. Maura Healey. How many of y'all voted for Maura Healey? How many of you guys gonna vote for Maura Healey? I hear Maura Healey and Baker, they're gonna go and freaking compete for governor. That's a bad situation. How many of you black people were at that protest last year where, you know, we were going out and protesting Maura Healey and the act that she did? I can tell you there wasn't a lot of black people there. I can count them on my fingertips. I was one of the very few. So if you guys are about the two-way, you got to be about it. Not only when it's convenient for you guys, not only when, you know, it's a white person that kills a black person and shit like that. Is that fucked up? Absolutely. But you got to be committed. You can't flip-flop. You got to be 100% all or nothing. You know, so you're either for the two-way or you're not. So think about who you're voting for. Think about what you're doing for the community. And, you know, if you need help, if you want to collaborate, if you want to hold a class, if you want to host, right, this is the easiest way to do it. Get people in the class. Like, yo, Pierre, you can come to my house. You can come to my shop. You can come to this organization and teach a class, have a debate, host a discussion, a seminar, a panel, whatever. That's easy. That'll cost you nothing but time. So if it's worth it, invest your time, money, and energy into the solution. But I'm gonna hold y'all accountable. I could care less about what anybody do. I only care about me and my own, right? So anybody want to do other stupid shit, then that's on them. Alright, yo, I gotta go and pick up these guns to do this class. So I'll holler at y'all later. If you agree or disagree, comment below, right? Like I said, right, you got to be able to interact and work with people that disagree with you. If you disagree with any of the points that I made, tell me why. And then I will go and probably do a response video later on and, like, pick, like, the top 5 things that people write or say about. But, yeah, yo, that's how I really feel. So, catch you later.